Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. Appreciate you being here. Thanks to new subscribers, and welcome back all my regulars. Alright guys, appreciate you being here. Face shave today. It is Saturday, so yes, face shave. Had to think for a second. Mind has been gone all day. It went out for lunch and never came back. Alright. Anyways. The razor. This little plastic thing is the Magic razor, made in Vietnam. It is also the Dorco razor, made in Vietnam. These razors, this is the Magic, the other one's the Dorco. They come out of the same factory in Vietnam. And Dorco is located in Korea, and they have it manufactured in Vietnam. If you notice, there's two plastic tabs to cover up the little bit of blade tab exposure. Notice the alignment's pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary. Doesn't move. It's a two-piece razor. You hold it and twist the bottom, and the cap comes off, and it's got a long shaft. You put the blade on the cap, put it in your hand, put this down on over the top of it, and screw it down tight. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to do a quick pause. Just because. So, Michell's wool fat. No, I do not have the glass container. I saved myself like, this container was like 12 bucks. Puck was like 12 bucks. It was like $24 for the fucking container. And the soap with the glass container is like 40. So you do the math. Save what? Save myself $16 by doing it this way. I know what it is. I put the little sticker there, and it's got the little Williams logo thingy right there. So, yep. Williams mug soap. No pre-shave today. We're not going to need it with the Williams. Things going to piss me off again today. 20mm Omega boar, because it's Williams. It's stiff. Did not bloom it. Did not do anything. I'm just using a damp brush. I'm going to load my brush. I don't know if that's enough or not. We will find out. I might have to go back to the puck to get more, but that's okay. We're allowed to do that. Because if you think they didn't do that back in the good old days of Grandpa and Great-Grandpa, you're crazy. You went back and loaded your brush as many times as you had to. And then you just take the Williams and you rub it on your face. And I like to use a boar brush with these harder puck soaps, yes, as opposed to Badger or even the synthetics, because they pick up the soap better and they beat it into your face better. Eyes are getting dry. The fan's blowing right in my face. Had to move it, otherwise it's gonna dry out this lather. I've only used Mitchell's wool fat. Have I been saying Williams? It's Mitchell's wool fat. If I've been saying Williams, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's Mitchell's wool fat. We're using the fat. Like I said, my mind's been gone all day. I don't even remember what I was saying. which one I was talking about, but it is Michell's wool fat that I'm using. One of the few soaps Grandpa and Great Grandpa actually had out there to use. You gotta remember, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of soaps. You had Williams Mug Soap, Mitchell's Wool Fat. In the 1950s, you started getting tobacco. But I'm talking before that, like prior 1930, Burma Shave, Barbasol, Williams, Mitchell's. What else was out there? I don't even remember. All right, anyways. We're using the Rapira Lux blade. Second, where did I take this from? This would be its fourth and final use. This is just a cheap little plastic razor. But you know what? It does okay. No blade feel. None. It's a cheap little plastic razor. That will give you a decent shave. That's all it is. I want to go cheap and I want to get this decent shave. And I don't like a lot of weight. That's all that is. There's nothing special about it. Nothing. Just a cheap razor. And it feels like it. But we're going to do 3 passes, possibly 4 because the thing's so damn mild. Whoa, 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 whoa. My dog. Somebody's outside. I think, I'm not sure, but my next door neighbor that way, he's due to come back from Connecticut soon. This is his winter place, and he stays up there in the summertime. He's due to come down anytime now. So he actually might be coming home, and that's who she might be barking at. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, he's due anytime. Excuse me. October 15th, 1895. What happened? Could somebody tell me? Because I haven't got a flipping clue. No? Henry Perky, Perky, got a patent for his cereal machine. His machine to make cereal. Now you guys have to understand something. Cereal was not invented as a breakfast food per se. Yes, it could be eaten for breakfast, but cereals were originally used for people that actually had eating disorders. They couldn't stomach a lot of things and had a hard time keeping things down or digesting things. That's what cereals were primarily used for, and they could be eaten for any meal. But cereals turned out to be usually quick and easy to make. So they got turned into breakfast foods. Grab something quick on your way out the door to go to work or school. That's where cereals came from. And his machine, his cereal machine, was to make what? 1895. What machine was he make? What did he invent to make what cereal? Shredded wheat. Good old shredded wheat. In Denver, Colorado is where he started shredded wheat. What they did, his machine made little pillows of wheat, little biscuits of wheat, they called them little pillows, little biscuits of wheat, or biscuits of wheat. They would take the wheat, they would cook it in water and saturate it until it was 50% saturated. Then they would take and roll it through the machine, which had a roller with teeth in it, which cut it into strips. And they would take those strips and lay them on top of each other, keep overlapping. And then at the end of the line, it would crimp the ends down and cut the little pieces of shredded wheat. Then they were cooked in an oven till they got down to 5% humidity, or saturation, 5% humidity, I guess, liquid. He originally started just to sell the machines. But when he didn't have any buyers for the machines, he said, screw you all, I'll make the cereal myself. And that's what he did. Now Kellogg, you know Kellogg, right? He tried one of the machines and he didn't like it. It wasn't that he didn't like the machine, he didn't like the product. He said the product was bland and blah, flavorless. And that his granola cereal, which later became grape nuts, was better. And his brother's actually the one that started making cornflakes. And his brother's actually the one that started the cereal business. Dr. Kellogg was using the grape nuts for people with eating disorders in his hospital. And then his brother started making cornflakes by pressing out corn and baking it and turning it into flakes. And he started cornflakes, and they had a lawsuit later on and anything that Dr. Kellogg was suing his brother for using his name on the cereal, and he wanted ownership of the cereal business because it was actually starting to make money. When he had originally poo-pooed the idea to his brother, saying it'll never sell, and then he wanted, because you're using my name, and it's like, well, it was his brother's name too. But anyways, he ended up suing his brother, and he lost in court because his brother never put Dr. Kellogg on the box. He just said Kellogg, and it was also his last name, so there was no infringement on the name. If he had put Dr. Kellogg and sold it as, yeah, he would have. But anyways, Henry Perky couldn't get any business going in Denver, so he moved east to Boston. And his first factory was actually at Niagara Falls, right next to the falls where the power plant was, getting power directly off the falls to power his plant to make shredded wheat. All right. He first sold his shredded wheat. Oh, I got to read this part to you. To vegetarian restaurants in 1892. So being a vegetarian is nothing new. It's not in the last 20 years, 30 years, whatever. 1892, there was vegetarian restaurants. A lot of people didn't know that. It's where he sold the cereal originally because it was just wheat. And he was distributing it from Niagara Falls. And then they built a plant on the Canadian side to make the cereal for Canada to avoid tariffs and taxes and everything going over the border. But eventually, later on down the road, the U.S. side plant was closed and they only operated the Canadian side. Hang on, I'm looking for something. Okay. It was, and he sold the company. All right, wait, I'm going to read this. Premiering to the public at Chicago's World Columbian Exposition in 1893, shredded wheat cereal was then manufactured by the Natural Food Company in Niagara Falls, New York in 1901. It became the Shredded Wheat Company in 1904, and it was bought by the National Biscuit Company in December of 1928. Who's the National Biscuit Company? Nabisco. Then in the 90s, it got sold to Kraft. Because you guys do know that there are actually only a handful of companies that run everything around the world, right? I mean, look at Disney, ABC, how much they control media-wise. Kraft Foods, Procter & Gamble. Look at all their divisions and how they branch out. There's only a few companies that actually run everything. Everything's huge conglomerates now. It's like Rockefeller was forced to break up Standard Oil in the early 1900s during Teddy Roosevelt's administration because they said he had a monopoly on oil, kerosene and oil, I think it was. Anyways, they made him break up Standard Oil into several smaller companies, which actually made Rockefeller more money because he ended up being majority owner in all the small companies that Standard Oil broke up into. So now all of a sudden you've got all these different companies that used to be Standard. Instead of him owning just one majority owner of one company, he became majority owner of a dozen different companies. So it put more money in his pocket. And I read one article where they said that Rockefeller actually he put up his fight in court to keep his business from being broken up, but he only put up enough fight to make it look good, that he intentionally actually wanted it to be broken up because he saw the handwriting on the wall that if I'm majority owner of all the small companies, I can make more money. And there's a story that says that as he walked out of the courtroom after the verdict of being told he had to break Standard Oil up, he was actually smiling. Because never underestimate one thing, gentlemen, or ladies, if there's any ladies watching. The rich know how to make money, and they don't miss a trick. J.P. Morgan never missed a trick. Carnegie never missed a trick. And Rockefeller never missed a trick. The rich know how to make money. That's why they are rich. The one thing this razor will not do is a BBS. No matter how many times you go over it. Hear it? It simply does not have the blade exposure to do a BBS. I still got just a wee bit right here. It won't do it. It just won't, guys. It's that type of razor. Some will, some won't. Yeah, but 1895 is when he got the patent for his machine. It's not when he invented it. He first invented it in 1890. And it was, like I said, displayed at the fair in Chicago in 1893. But shredder wheat's been around for what? It'd be 122. You go back to 93, that's another 129 years. I got good slickness on my face. And I still got hair all through here. But like I said, this is not going to remove it. So, no worries. But if you want to, I can go to work on this shave. I could. If I was still working, I could go to work on this shave. I could go out in public in the shave and not look like I hadn't shaved. It's just you can still feel the stubble. That's all. You definitely have to shave again tomorrow, which I'm not going to, but I'm getting about a half a point on my neck and nothing on the face with the alum block. Gentleman John alum block. But I'm getting half a point on the neck at the most, because that razor is far from aggressive. It's very, very mild. But it gives, overall, it gives a good shave. It's not a BBS. It's not a great shave, but it'll do. It's another razor to take traveling. You lose it, who cares, right? Witcham Hazel. And I'm going to use Skin Bracer. Why do they put price tags right on the label? Why would you do that? Why would you not put it on the bottom or on the back label or on top of the cap? Why would you put it right there? So when it peels off, you got this big weight. And that restrictor, I don't know why they even bother with the restrictor. This is on here to give threads, I think, for the cap, and that's it. Because I could drive a truck to it, put some hair around that, and you can have some fun. Same with the Aqua Velva. Alright, something new. I got these at Dollar Tree the other day when I was there. Dove Ultra-Hydra. Ultra Hydration. It's got an aluminum seal. That lid just compression fits over the top. And that stuff is ooey and gooey. Oh wow. Took a lot. I wiped some of it off. Okay. But good little balm. It's Dove. It's good stuff. For $1.25. Can't go wrong. Alright guys. So now you know where shredder wheat came from. Little history on Kellogg. Who thought the cereal tasted blah. He didn't want to use it. And he went with his grape nuts, which, I don't know if you've ever eaten grape nuts, but they're pretty blah too. And so are cornflakes. None of those cereals taste any good until you take the old sugar cane to them. You know what I mean? Anyways. Well, of course, now you got strawberry frosted, shredded wheat, and frosted, and cinnamon, and blah, blah, blah. You got all kinds. But back in the day, you just had shredded wheat, and you poured milk on it, and you ate it. I'm sure somebody discovered that you could put some sugar on it, too. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Don't forget my affiliate link. When it hits $25, I'll buy a $25 gift card, give it back to you guys. I'll put links to 4 channels in my description box that I watch. They're under 1,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to them, please give them a click. Give them a subscription. I'm just trying to boost everybody's numbers. That's it. Trying to help them move along and get along. Alright guys, just what I can do with my little channel to help other little channels out. That's all I'm doing. Alright guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for showing up. I love you all. Thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, so that says that's enough of the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.